In this film we're going to look at the process of cell division called mitosis, in which new cells, which are identical copies of parent cells, are made. This is usually done on the root tips of growing plants such as onion or garlic, sometimes hyacinth. First of all, in order to macerate the tissues, that is, break the cells apart, we can dissolve the glue between them, the middle lamella made out of calcium pectate, using a mixture of ethanol and concentrated hydrochloric acid. This mixture means that there's no need for any heating. After the root tip has been in there for a few minutes, it's then transferred into 45% glacial acetic acid. Another few more minutes in there, and then onto a very clean slide which has been kept in 70% alcohol. So there's the root tip on the slide. It now has the stain, which is called ethanoic orsin, its old name acetic orsin, added to the slide. Now the tissues are broken up using a blunt instrument, like the wrong end of a mounted needle. It's quite important at this stage to do this thoroughly. Make sure the cells are all broken apart from each other. And then a cover slip is placed on top. And the whole is then squashed, sometimes with the thumb. If you're doing it with your thumb, place a piece of tissue over the cover slip in order not to get a thumbprint. This is why the procedure is called a root tip squash. The slide is then placed under the compound microscope, as always with low power in place at first, but you are going to be looking at tiny structures here, so we will go on to medium and high power. So here's a general view. On here we can see cells in prophase. There's one about 3 in from the left. Most of the cells are in interphase, so the nucleus is just stained a more or less uniform red. But some of the cells are quite clearly showing chromosomes, and in the middle at the bottom there's a cell in metaphase. So this is a good preparation. The stain has been taken up very well and cells are dividing. You might want to try and identify what the other stages in this picture are, if you think there are any. We've mentioned prophase, we've mentioned interphase, we've mentioned metaphase. The other stage is anaphase and telophase. Do you think either of those stages can be seen in this field of view? So here we've zoomed in now with high power 400 times onto some cells in interphase, no discernible detail in the red stained nuclei. Remember, the chromosomes are there, but they're so thin It simply can't be seen at this magnification. Here are some cells in prophase with some interphase ones as well. The chromosomes are clearly visible now as threads, but there's no discernible pattern. They're not lined up across the middle or separating. So this is quite an early stage in mitosis, prophase, when the chromosomes are condensing and becoming visible. And here we have a cell in metaphase. The chromosomes are clearly lined up across the middle of the cell. It'd be difficult on this photograph to count how many chromosomes there are here, but you might try and then see if you can find out the typical chromosome number of an onion. Which stages are missing? Can you find pictures of them, maybe on the internet or in books?